It's nearly mid-November, and whether your customers are ready to admit it or not, they're already thinking about Black Friday and Christmas, which puts you in an amazing place to take advantage. So something happens that I see as a trend in Google Ads around this time of the year, and that it is whether your customers realize it or not. If you're in the service or construction provider industry, everyone's mindset is shifting away from commercial to personal spending. So that means that although people aren't saying it out loud, they are starting to think less about how they're going to invest in their business and who they're going to be using for stuff. And they're going to be thinking much more about the toys they're going to buy on Black Friday, the money they need to save and the arrangements they need to put in place and the decorations they need to handle over the next 6 weeks. I see that first on the Google Ads side, because what we notice is their impressions remain pretty similar, clicks still remain pretty similar, but the actual conversion rate begins to dip. People are far more likely, in my opinion, and in the experience I've seen, to stick with the devil they know and work with a provider of a service that they just have used before. Why? Very simple. They don't want any hassle over the next 6 weeks, in the lead up to Christmas and Black Friday and everything here. They just want shit to go easy so they can have an easy life and they can ride in the new year, chill. So commercial decision making doesn't actually stop. It just means there's this golden opportunity, if you can take it, to just present yourself in a different light to everyone else. So while your competitors are beginning to wind down, they're starting to craft their out of office messages, there's two types of audience that you should be thinking about and trying to communicate with. And the good thing is they both respond to very similar messages. The first one is your, oh my God, I need to get stuff done very easily before the end of the year crowd. So they are just looking to work with someone that can show them trust and they think is reliable and that can just be there when they need it. They don't have to think too hard. You're just going to get the job done for them. There's no stress. These are the urgent decision makers, and they're going to be clicking on the first Google ad they see and looking to make sure they feel they can trust you and then want to work with you. The other side is the forward planners. So these guys are going to be looking for an understanding on your side that you're thinking ahead already about the new year. You're pre-gaming ahead. You've got plans in place. You're working with your customers to make sure the service you provide is going to be clean and smooth, and you've already got all of your January plans in place. While everyone else is thinking about Christmas parties, these guys are thinking about the Q1 targets they want to hit, and they're looking for suppliers to work with that are also showing that same mindset. So you might be thinking I'm telling you, well, do I need to say that I'm working through Christmas? Because I'm not going to be. But no, you don't at all. You don't need to be available 24/7. You just need to present yourself and be present in the right places over the next 6 weeks to reach both those audiences in ways that your competitors just aren't going to bother with. So here's how I would do that. Number one, I'll just make sure my availability is super clear. Make sure your Google My Business opening hours are completely accurate, and then present yourself on the phone and on your website and through your social media as a business that is reliable and ready for what is coming up over the next kind of Christmas rush period from mid-November to late December. I'd have some really clear communication in place about the ability to pre-book for January. Just lets people know that you're already considering that side of the year already. I'll be sharing some content in social media that just shows you guys are gearing up and prepared for the Christmas rush on an internal level, whether that means that your hardware kit and plant are ready to rock, whether that means you've brought in extra staff. I would just be making noises that show people, okay, these guys seem reliable. They seem to understand what my worries are, which is that I don't want any cock-ups before Christmas, and I'm going to work with them. And then the final thing to consider is that most people are going to just turn off their Google ads when you get to the end of December. Unless you're in the e-commerce space, there's not going to be many service businesses aggressively showing up on Google ads. I would just have some kind of presence there. So whether that is a specific advert that says you're only taking pre-bookings because you're on holiday right then and you're sending them to a form, it will be much cheaper to be present during that kind of Q5 period, which is that Christmas Day to New Year's Day gap. And I would consider have something in place there just to be extra present. Because remember, while everyone else is sending out their Christmas cards and getting that auto replies ready for the end of the year, you guys can just be making a few small tweaks to your presence and the way that people think about you that can really take advantage of this time of year. So it's not about fighting the Christmas slowdown. It's inevitable. I think it starts much earlier than people realize, but you can really use it to your advantage by just changing a few things about the way you present yourselves to your current and potential new customers. Because when January finally rolls around, you're going to be way ahead of the game.